What is going on, guys? Joey here, and I just wanted to make this audio message talking a little bit about what it means to reset the lifter. Reset the lifter. What do I mean by that? Basically, and then we'll explain, sometimes all you have to do is reset the lifter, all else the same. Bring some stress down, and you can kind of bring them back to life and they can get results again. What do I mean by that? So, especially when it comes to younger lifters, they're very motivated. They want to work really, really hard. They want to be competitive, right? And that's a good thing. But I think when you are, you're going through your training, you're doing your 4, 8, 12-week blocks, whatever it is. You're taking your deloads and things like that. If your stress gets to a certain point, I do believe it can be beneficial to take a sort of bigger kind of reset type of deload that is beyond that of, going in and taking like a 50% week or something like that, right? I mean, literally, you're just like not touching a barbell for like a week, maybe 2 weeks. After some of my lifters, like my more advanced lifters, have competed for like, maybe we had to do 2 or 3 competitions in a 6-month period where we had to go all out, like literally all out. We're competing, we're maxing out. It's just a very high load on the mind, a load on the body. Everything is kind of pushed to its absolute limit. It's very taxing on the human, on the person. And I think you just need to reset. You just need to not lift, get away from powerlifting, go watch a movie, do something else, walk your dog. Take a week off, take 2 weeks off if you have to, and then just like really, really kind of reset. Obviously, it depends on how the person is feeling, but I have seen instances where you'll have a lifter that they're healthy, there's not really any injuries, maybe they're dealing with some life stuff, maybe their food is pretty consistent, not like a crazy surplus or anything, but consistent, and they just kind of get to a point where you just need to reset. Now, what do I mean by reset? Maybe you're dieting really strict. Take a break from the diet for a little bit. We already know, especially if you ask like bodybuilders, the power of like a diet break, right? Being able to just take a break from that diet and then reset and then get back on the diet, right? It's almost like you need to remind the body that it's okay. There's no reason to be super stressed out. Things will be fine. And then the body will, drop weight, or they'll have like a new low weigh-in or something like that, right? Context dependent, of course. Not everyone's just gonna be able to do that. The diet is like it's a different thing. But I think in general, and this is what I think has allowed me to be effective over the years, is noticing that the human body you cannot really force it to do certain things. You can create a demand for an adaptation, which will lead to more gains or more progress in a specific area. But if you try to force something, like for example, if you're holding a lot of fatigue and you bury yourself, or you just keep burying yourself, keep trying to train harder and harder and harder, you're going to burn out really, really fast. You're going to get hurt and things like that. Especially with powerlifting, it's different, right? We're dealing with like lower rep ranges. Even 8, 7, 6, right? Those are like kind of high rep ranges for a powerlifter, but they're low rep ranges compared to like bodybuilders, right? Bodybuilders working in like you can make 6s work, right? You can make things like that work, but you're starting to get into those lower strength type of rep ranges. Sometimes on bodybuilding programs you see 8 to 15, right? Our high end is their low end. And sometimes you just need to take a break from those things. The reason why I like to I like to work both ends, right? I like to take the benefits from building muscle and the low end of a bodybuilding rep range with a competition lift, and your weekly work, the amount of work that you're doing over the week, and then you have your heavy work, whatever, right? You're going to need a break from that eventually, even if you're doing everything right, even if you're deloading properly, even if you're, even if you feel okay. I think it's just good to do it after like a year. Like if you've been going for a year hard and you finish the powerlifting season, take a week off, take 2 weeks off. If you're not competing again for another 6-7 months, I think some lifters take like a month off, right? If they're really strong, if they're really, 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 really strong, right? We're talking like the number one super heavyweight or 120, right? We're not talking like a 74 kg lifter is probably going to recover like really quickly. They're just dealing with like a different level of tonnage, and it's probably not as much of a stress on the body. But yeah, taking a break, getting away from the barbell is not something you can do all the time, but I do think there are times when it is appropriate. It can really help reset the mind, reset the body, give you that newfound motivation. And I think sometimes we get caught in this sort of, it's like this like tornado of like trying to work harder and like min-max everything and push things to their limit, when in reality, we just need to take a break. We need to chill out, take a step back, stop trying to like reset the endocrine system, right? You don't need to always be going heavy and, being super aroused to lift like super heavy weight. Because there have been times when, you go through your normal progression, maybe you do a meet, you compete, all right, and then you take a week or two off, and then you get back to your training, and you're kind of just doing similar things to what you were doing before, but you're responding so much better, and your base of strength is higher now, and you kind of trick the body into getting stronger, whereas if you tried that 2 weeks ago, it wouldn't have worked, because your body was so adapted to what you were doing. You needed to take that step back to kind of reset things. And it's just a reminder for people, if at least one person that's caught in that tornado listens to this video and says, you know what, thank you for the reminder, thank you for letting me know that I just need to take a quick step back and then I can go forward. I'm telling you guys, 1 week is not that big a deal. It's really not. If you train consistently, year round, and out of the year you have like 2 or 3 weeks where you're just taking it easier for like health reasons, mental reasons, so that you can just respond to things better, it's not that big of a deal. And I actually think it's probably necessary in order to continue to move forward. So just a reminder, resetting the lifter, both mentally, physically, can be a very powerful thing. Taking that quick break after the meet. The reason why a meet works like good timing, because you're already tapering into the meet, so you're doing less work, and then you're taking an additional, it's like you're deloading from the volume and then you're deloading from the intensity afterwards, and you're literally just hitting the reset button on everything. And you're going to be excited to lift, you're going to be eager to go back to the gym. And I think, after competitions, it's a really good time. That's why when we're kind of forced to have to compete because of the powerlifting schedule or whatever, like back to back, like even competing in March, with Russ, Cranon, some of my open lifters, and then having to get right back in the saddle and compete again at Worlds in June, like mid-March, mid-June, it's like you don't really get that mental break. And definitely something I'm going to be emphasizing after this World Championships, which is like I literally leave for it in 2 weeks, and I believe the meet 2 days, and the meet starts in 3 days, is I want Jesus to take a week or two off. I want Russ to take a week or two off. I think for girls, probably 1 week is good, because you'll start getting weak quick after that. If you're not powerlifting, you're literally just gonna like dissolve. Everybody's different, and I think if we look at Keiko right now, the break that he's taking, it was a much needed break. It was something that he absolutely, I think also for him, and this is unlike the other world's lifters that I coach, not all of the other ones, one just came to mind, but with Keiko, he always has to compete against like a really stacked weight class, so the mental load on him is going to be much more significant than if you're just going to hit like 7 lifts and win. You know, it's like very different to constantly bet everything. You're going all in every time. You're going all in every single time, and that is it's a very taxing thing. So we did that for many years, and now we need to take like a bigger reset. A lot of it, like, we didn't really have a choice in the matter because of the way the schedules work. And then, yeah, I mean, that's a very interesting topic on its own, and I might bring Keiko on. If you guys are interested, let me know in the comments down below. Bring Keiko on to talk about that. I think it's an interesting topic. Of course, he has to be willing and want to talk about it. Anyway, guys, if you made it this far, I really appreciate you. I hope this made sense. This is just me rambling in the car as I'm on my way to the gym, getting my last little things handled before we head out. And I hope to make you guys proud. And we start the week off for me, for US, we start with Russ, but I do have smaller lifters competing earlier on. I believe Zin and Natalie. Zin from Taiwan and Natalie from Singapore. So we'll be starting off with them, and then we'll just go from there. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. If you made it to the end, let me get a hashtag, something about worlds in the comments down below. See you guys in the next one. Peace.